What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what's been really moving SoundHound, and just the good potential that it does have for 2025. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down slightly, 0.07%, 1377 the low, 1468 the high. So I've been covering SoundHound on and off for a while now, and this is the most tame it has ever been. So it's kind of crazy, but at the same time, I think a lot of that is attributed to just shorts today as well as lower volume. So only 19.03 million shares being traded, 77.8 is the average. A couple of things that is really moving the market today. So you did have GDP coming in a little bit lower than the consensus. So came in at 2.3, consensus is 2.6. So not all that great, but this does equate to more of a stronger possible rate cut in the foreseeable future, despite what Powell has stated. So I guess that's kind of really helping the sentiment with the broader market. At the same time, Tesla had very good earnings, Meta as well. So that is really driving a lot of big growth. After hours today, we also have a lot of big tech names, Apple, Intel as well. So a lot of that could cause some extra volatility, but I think consensus is that it's going to be moving higher. So that's what's kind of affecting and moving SoundHound. No actual news though, no SEC filings associated to them. They did post this on social media, and so kind of just showing a interview, and I actually did post this interview already. So this one is from January the 18th. So it was from that conference that they did participate a couple weeks back. So nothing new information, but regardless, I think SoundHound's definitely doing a good thing by doing a lot of these types of posts and just getting their name out there. But I think there is still a hell of a lot of more like improvement that they can be doing, because I think SoundHound's potential, just like they're focusing so much on, let's say, the service and the foods sector, you can expand that to, like, let's say Tesla. Tesla, pretty much all of their products, even going forward, Optimus as well, you can make like a lot of good money by integrating, kind of taking advantage of that before some other entities do. So what I mean by that is I actually started a new YouTube channel where I'm going through like fireside chats and whatever else. And I actually just did this company right here. So ticker RZLV, Resolve AI. Very similar. So it went down a SPAC route. It hasn't really been all that great. It is based out of London, but they've already gotten a lot of good partnerships. So I do plan on doing a video this weekend, compare and contrast between Resolve and SoundHound. But regardless, they're like a small company compared to SoundHound because the market cap is only 423 million. SoundHound is sitting at like 5.17 billion. So on a side note, that should be coming up soon, potentially qualifying for the Nasdaq 500. So again, stay tuned for that. But regardless, I think SoundHound does need to really, like, there is a lot of good potential. They just need to really let the market know what their full vision is. And that's something that honestly Resolve did do a very good job of. So I'm not hating on SoundHound, don't get me wrong. I just wanted to kind of bring up the fact that I, alongside many other individuals, do see the good potential with SoundHound. They just need to really start letting the market know. So that's kind of my side thing. Stay tuned for that video. On a side note, for this weekend, I'll do kind of go over some of the financials and just where I see kind of the pros and cons of each of them. But aside from that though, like I said, shorts and just the lower volume, that's really helping stabilize SoundHound. So right now shorts are returning 507,000 shares, 33.14% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 109.08 million shares overall are being shorted. Reason why they're returning is because the market is very optimistic right now, and plus there is zero available shares. So very tight in reality. So yeah, that's a good circumstance for potentially shorts to get squeezed if SoundHound does have something in their back pocket and they can put out, let's say, a partnership or whatever else. Then yeah, you can definitely see shorts get screwed at this stage. But right now, looking at options, 4.83 million in calls, 2.25 in puts, 47% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. kind of low volume, similar to yesterday. So yesterday there was only 7.7 million in total. Day prior, 17, 18, 29. So I think just SoundHound is losing a little bit of interest coming from entities out there, and you can see that based on this as well. These are only the transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. So I think just right now big money is rotating out into other plays. SoundHound's kind of, it's holding on, holding some key support levels, but I think there's just better opportunity elsewhere. That's what big money is kind of interpreting. So that's just my thoughts, of course. Based on this, these are all the call options that are being purchased. So you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 16 for this week and about 16.50 for next week. A couple pockets of big ones, so 19.50 for the week ending February the 7th, but majority, I think the optimism is starting to slow down. The bears, though, they are anticipating for it to be sub roughly around $13, and then you have this pocket right here of $12 for February the 21st. So could go any direction. Right now with at 13.91, trading between this S1 and this S2. So 14.01 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and then 15.64. Right now, 13.01 and then 11.39 is going to be those kind of strong support levels. So in general, SoundHound does show some signs that it wants to move higher. Just watch for it to close above 14.01 today to really continue that good momentum, hopefully into tomorrow. But as of right now, with the lower volume, very important just to take note of some of these kind of support and resistance points. Aside from that, no new analyst ratings, no real substantial articles coming out. Honestly, no real articles coming out. A lot of them are just bringing up technicals and highlighting pretty much everything that I'm talking on right now. So as of right now, with it at 13 and change, or sorry, 13.92, it is right below that 50-day moving average. So that is sitting at 14.48 right over here. ALMA at the same time, 14.39. So last time these did kind of diverge, you had a little bit of a pinch, and so this is where it kind of moved higher from that. That could happen this time around, so just watch for a lot of volatility. So I think just at the same time, SoundHound just needs to give the market something. Like I kind of mentioned, it just needs to give people, like, acknowledge and reconfirm that it does have a lot of good upside. So what's their forecast for, like, let's say the second half of 2025? Resolve, during their recent fireside chat, said during that time frame there's going to be a lot of acquisitions. SoundHound, we already know they love acquisitions. They recently did a issuance, so what was that, $500 million? That to me sounds like they have something planned, but I think just giving little Easter eggs that might definitely help the market. But I don't know, what's your viewpoint on SoundHound? Are you buying? Are you selling? Do you think that it's going to push lower, or do you think that it's just going to hold on up until they put out news, then kind of skyrocket? What's your viewpoint on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And actually, before I finish, I often enough do bring up just the fact that they have a lot of cash. And so some people have kind of mentioned that they don't. So based on this, so cash and cash equivalents, they have 135.6 million. And from what they're burning through, around 35.3. So logically, they do have sufficient amount of cash up until pretty much the beginning of 2026. So I think dilution was going to be coming. This one was a little bit sooner than I would have anticipated. So to have 500 million, either it's one of two things. And so they are either having a very long runway, so they want to have sufficient cash up until, let's say, 2027, or they do plan on doing an acquisition. So this is why when I say they have a lot of cash, it's based on this. So it's a good runway. At least they don't need cash, or didn't need to dilute because they were running out of money like next month or something. But yeah, I think 135.6 million is fairly good. What's your viewpoint? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.